Yesterday we practiced finding areas of shaded regions, and today we're going to focus on all types of angles and how to identify them within diagrams and to find missing angles. So if we look at this problem below, two lines meet at a point. So in a complete sentence, describe the relevant angle relationships in the diagram. We're going to find the values of R, S, and T. So there are three missing angles here, so go ahead and draw that diagram in your notes so that we can begin solving. So if we have this diagram, what angles do we see within it? Well, I actually see two lines only that are making an X like this, which means these are called vertical angles. So let's go ahead and write that word down. Vertical angles are whenever we see a straight line, two straight lines that form an X. That means that the angles opposite of each other are equal. So for example, this angle and this angle would be the same. And actually, if we look at the top angles, that would also show that they are the same. So the red angles are equal and the blue angles are equal. So let's write that down. Angles opposite are equal. So how can that help us solve this problem? Well, I see that we are trying to find angle S, but we see that the angle exactly opposite to it is 25 degrees. That means angle S is also 25 degrees. So angle S is 25 degrees. Why? Because it is a vertical angle, so the angle opposite is also the same value of itself. So 25 degrees on the right, and S is 25 degrees on the left. Awesome. Well, now we need to find angle R and angle T. Well, since these are also vertical angles, we know they are equal to each other. So this angle and this angle have to be equal, but we don't know what either of them are. So how can I find them? Well, I also see supplementary angles or angles on a straight line. So I see that this angle, right, these two angles are on a straight line, as well as the opposite line is also a straight line, which means all of these angles add up to 180 degrees. So these angles right here have to add up to 180 degrees because they are angles on a line. Let's write that down. Angles on a line equal 180 degrees. We also call these supplementary angles. So we have already written these vocab words down before, but it's always good to keep writing them down to help our memory. So that means I can write an equation to show that these two angles have to add up and equal 180 degrees. So R plus 25 has to equal 180 because they are the two angles on this straight line. So now that we have our equation, how can I begin solving it? Well, I know to solve equations, we use our inverse operations. So instead of adding 25, we're going to take away 25 degrees to see what R would have to be once we remove that piece. And I see that R is 155 degrees. So we have S, we have angle R. If we wanted to double check really quickly, I know that angle R added to the 25 degree would have to equal 180. So if I add 155, 175, 180, sure enough, these are correct, which means our answer is correct for angle R. Well, great. If we know what angle R is, what does that mean about angle T? It is also 155 degrees because, again, they are vertical angles, which means the angles opposite are equal. So let's stamp. When looking at a diagram, we first need to identify the angles shown and review the properties of those angles, just like we did with vertical angles and angles on a line. Second, vertical angles are angles that are exactly opposite of each other and they are equivalent. We're going to look at some more diagrams independently.